on channel we're streaming out here, with the spot we are primarily on international needs. We've already completed our flight out on the preparation checklist. We've already completed our boarding. I'm about to send the data over to our what's the village here, and then I just decided to do it. So right now, we're just getting everything about 2 minutes to go here, so we're just trying to get out of here as quickly as possible. Taking our final load sheet, anti-IT's going to remain off, our packs are going to be on, and we're going to calculate this information. We're sending it over to our activity here for us, and we're ready to go here. My stuff is showing negative because we are using advanced weather, and let's go ahead and get ready for this back on departure. Snow power is going off right now. Our lights are going on. Stun signs are on. Those servers are at idle. You'll find the schedule of their set where we're doing this right now. One year flap up to 0.1.
We are ready for pushback.
Stop it, really? Correct. Not the weather here. Transponder mode, we're switching out to auto. Lights are set on. Engine mode selector is set to ignition and start. Parking brake is
departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
I'm going to rub. Right, parking brake is up because it's on, and we're just waiting for them to confirm that we're okay for engine start. Right,
Locking
we're
gear.
on here in Miami. We're at the International Satellite Concourse. Right, Concourse Echo. So that we can see it out the whiskey and November, or the whiskey right. Whichever one's better, whichever one's best. We're going to be a right cloud of one departure, we got transition, and we're departing out. Then we do the initial climb of 5,000, after that 5,000 feet, we're going to be climbing up the flight with 370, where we will cruise all the way down to, we're going right.
Release parking brake.
All the way down to for the front, or not for the front, but brake set. So our parking brake is released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Starting wheel.
Engine 2, we're no master engine 2 is going on, right? Yeah.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
We're going right. I want to start it. Messages. Coach, we're gonna accept that. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew from closest to, as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit
Available.
life jackets,
Set parking
brace
brake.
position,
Unlocking gear.
brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be
So,
behind you.
he's moving about a little bit.
Emergency lighting will guide you
It's
to
going
an
to be a
exit.
pretty long flight,
In an
about
emergency,
3 hours,
leave
4
all
hours.
baggage on board. Seatbelt is fastened, adjusted and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs fall, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Pull on each side to adjust.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust. adjust. Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with life jackets for children.
We're still
Your
looking
tray
out
table must now be
for
stowed. Armrests down.
our
Window blinds
so
open.
she's all set.
Seatbelt
So
fastened.
now we're going to do our
Further
start
information
checklist.
regarding your safety
Our
report can be
front
found
brake is
in
on
Flight
our
Magazine.
engine mode
We
selector,
hope
so
you have a
that's
great
normal.
flight.
AQ procedure is going off and the master is going off at this time. Now we're going to do our flight controls test. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full left, full left, full right, nope, got it. Pedal disconnect. Alright, the rudder is unnecessary here, but we'll do that while we are on road taxi. So our flaps is going down to our takeoff position. Our pitch trim is set to takeoff, which is your up 0.1. Rudder trim is 0. Anti-ice is not required. Flight instruments are checked. And that checklist is fine. Now we're going to go ahead and call up Miami traffic to let them know that we're going to be taxiing out. Okay, we're going to be taxiing off of our concourse. So we're going via Whiskey and November. So we're going to call up Miami. We are on L18.3. We're in the, yeah. Nope, right here. Right. So let's go ahead and call Miami right now. Traffic defense 17 air taxi into runway 0 right off concourse Echo. We're heading via Whiskey and November for right. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hear our taxi again. So our nose lights, we're off our brakes. Our nose light is going on the taxi. Runway turn off lights are going
Cabin
on.
crew seats for takeoff.
Our strobes are on auto. Still config. It's not yet normal, but now on our speed brake, set our auto brake to max, and we're going to test our still config. Normal, check. Press a little power on, press get out. Up to our next stage in our checklist here. Taxi out. Taking left here, see that we're not in large aircraft. On the right, there's a bit more space for larger aircrafts to the right. Those dotted lines are pretty much for that. And also that one extra side over there. But typically they would try to keep larger aircraft from taxiing, especially when you have a large aircraft park. For large aircraft, the large fleet, this is Concourse Echo for our international flights. So given that we're flying in here, we're going to be flying in any international flight that we're doing outside of the Caribbean or outside of Miami, and we're flying in from either Europe or from the Caribbean, Asia, the Pacific. We are going to be flying to coming to these gates, so that's pretty much where there are. Cargo gates are up there, the cargo terminal is all the way up there, which is a pretty annoying thing when you're going to be having to taxi out, especially when you're on ATC. And ATC gives you a clearance over to runway 0 and right, which is really annoying taxiing out from those cargo gates all the way down. Alright, so we're going to down right now, hopefully we're getting over this. Now traffic here, 917. We are turning right off of Whiskey off of the lane for runway 8 right. Whiskey November. Alright, so we got no traffic here. We're going to just roll down this way, get a little bit of power. As we make our turn, pickup does have a lot of power, so we are not going to be up for a little while. Out here. So November is going to be our first out here. Our departure is going to be Florida to departure with the TAC transition. So we're departing out here, Florida 2, and then we're headed over to the TAC. Usually always the route that they provide me with whenever I'm flying out to the Caribbean, so we're expecting that. I'm in traffic at 17. We are turning left onto November from 26. So just go ahead and cross here. I was about to take a look to our right, but there was no traffic. But coming down here, no traffic on in my coming in or going out. Right, off power, so we can maintain our airspeed for our ground speed. Sorry. And well, set here. On the center line here. So we are going to be here for our lineup. Just get my paper checklist. Because although I do have the electronic checklist here, there's not much to do, not much of a line checklist here. Especially like aircraft like the second class right here, I have to print this one out. Some of them I'm doing them based upon muscle memory. You should know exactly where it is, what is on standby. Let's go ahead and switch to the ARA. And we're about coming up to our point for lining up. Still on November. The traffic is a little bit, winds are a little bit there, but so we'll get on to runway here. We gotta check our main takeoff fuel. Let's go ahead and pull up our pilot briefing here and check our main takeoff fuel. 9,020 so we have 1,000 pounds extra. 1,000 pounds is still good. We should have taken might because it'll put us a lot closer in terms of our departure. That gives us enough time on the taxi to see if we have any traffic inbound on this traffic. And that way get ready for us to go out. So we do have enough fuel. That means that we are legally able to take off. We're lower than 920 or 920 kilos that were set for our minimum takeoff. We'll have to go back to the engine. Alright, let's switch this over to DOR. Alright, everything else is set here. And we are going ahead and do our lineup checks. Takeoff runway is checked ahead of us, that's on the right. And our TCAS is going on right now.
Approaching runways.
Yes, on packs 1 and 2 is on auto, and our lineup check is going to be at this time. I'm checking the 5674 lineup on the so that's what we got called, but quick
On
down.
runway 08, right.
I'm gonna stop right. Weapon brake is set. Let's go ahead. Before takeoff checklist, weapon brake is on when the radar is set. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and set that. Set for 1. The windshield is on. That's auto. TCAS is TARA. Spoilers are on brakes is set max. And the terrain is going on the FO side. Cabin crew have been advised exterior lights are strobe lights are coming on. Landing lights are switched on. Those lights are going to take off. Packs are set on the memo. For takeoff, no checklist is completely ready for takeoff. Alright, so takeoff, chrono is on. Lights are going off. Verify. And flex SRS runway on first. Gone. Line. Yes, I am. The nose. Lights off. Going on. Flying first. Right. Up, the takeoff checklist on here up. Press appliance will disarm. Escape on. Press is on. Left jacket, packs are on, anti-strap required. Lights are off, those lights off. So we're going to be climbing up to flight 70 while cross. So while we cross from Miami, and we're heading down to set. Let's go back to our
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened whilst the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we will commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to choose from our fresh selection available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept all major credit and debit cards. If we can be of any further assistance, just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
It's right, it's pretty what? Yung bagyasa ko natin magkakaroon sa rental yung dapat truck. But that's why I was like, 1% of the But
Yep, there it is. Wrong thing. Okay. Let's see, we're still in that climb. Let's select dark stream. No. Wrong stream. And we're waiting for us to pass 10,000 feet. Alright, 10,000 feet, line and lights go off, seatbelt signs are off, anti-ice is off, and our climb checklist is complete. We're waiting for cruise. Just had an issue there with my microphone because I had two of them plugged in and selected the wrong one. Alright, so let's go back. Here we are. We are headed out to Raiset. Pretty long flight. Should be able to make it down there pretty quickly. Alright, so we are on our way, actually. So again, this is one of Air France's flights here in the Caribbean with the A320. It's a real-world flight, which means they do operate from Miami down to, well, they operate mainly out of Raiset, which is Tango Fox, Fox Romeo. And they fly in between the Caribbean islands using the A320 and down to some parts of South America. They're mainly doing the flights between French colonies, so they don't fly to every single Caribbean island, but they do go to St. Martin, they go to Guadeloupe, they go to Martinique, and they head down to some of the French Polynesian islands or some of the French islands down in the Caribbean. We are not going to be doing all of their routes, but we may do like about two of their routes. One head down to from Miami down to Raiset, which is, I did that flight like 2 days ago. Flight from Raiset up to Miami. I did the flight back, however our ACARS did not record that flight, so I have to do it again and fly down to Raiset so that it can set me as being in Raiset. And then I can fly from Raiset down to either Fort-de-France, which is in Martinique. So that means we're going to be flying pretty low, pretty fast. It should be either one of their shortest routes, which is going to be from Raiset to Fort-de-France, just a few miles. Should take us about half an hour to get up to cruise and descent. So basically it's climb up. By the time we get over Dominica, we should be at cruise. And then we should start our descent for an arrival into Fort-de-France. However, right now we're doing our flight down to Raiset, and yeah, this is pretty much what we are doing. We're in a Sharklets variant of the A320. They use the wingtip fences. However, I did not, or I was too lazy to go download the correct livery for it, which is Hotel Echo Papa Charlie. I'm in Hotel Echo Papa India right now. We'll just agree that that's what is being used at this present time, seeing that Hotel Echo Papa Charlie is in maintenance. So we're gonna go up standard set, and we are past our transition altitude. So we're past our transition altitude, and right now we are gonna transition into our pretty much our cruise phase from here. Alright, so as we get up to our cruise phase, we shall do a couple of extra things while we're up here, including preparing for our arrival. Arrival is going to be runway 12. It is going to be an RNAV arrival because I love flying my landings into the Caribbean. We do have an ILS available, however, the RNAV is a lot more interesting. And the fact that the weather out here is pretty much overcast and cloudy in certain locations. So we should expect either rain or we should expect some cloudy conditions. I did do a flight there and I had a little bit of rain out there. Arrival METAR, here we go. We do see our arrival METAR is here. It's set auto. So it was done 21:15 and 30 Zulu time. So our winds here 110 at 14, gusting to 24. Our clouds are at 7,000, overcast at or variable 140. Oh no, that's not clouds. I'm so sorry about that. So our winds 110 at 14, gusting to 24, and it's 070 variable 140. We have clouds broken at 3,400, broken at 4,500. Our temperature is 31, dew point 23, QNH 1014. We do have some showers and rain, and yeah, we do have a lot of clouds out there. We do have some weather out there, so we're expecting some interesting flight today, especially our approach and landing. So our passengers are able to go about and move about the cabin right now as we climb up to cruise. Should be nothing to it. Alright. Sooner or later I am actually getting the animated first officer right there, so she can do the pre-flight checks and so all of the good stuff. Yo, let's keep going. I'm gonna mute myself a little bit as we climb up to cruise here, and we can get where we need to go pretty shortly. I would suggest you guys touching base back with us once we get over to our proper arrival. Weather leaving here is pretty clear, not much clouds. We're expected to have a pretty clear day headed down to the Caribbean until we meet up with some of the bad weather that is plaguing between San Juan, go down to Juliana, Jamaica, and so on. But we're not going to be flying around Jamaica's area, so we should barely see some of that. Yep. Right, so just to let you guys know, if you're not hearing any audio, it's just that I'm making some adjustments so that some things in my background are not just, or some noise in my background is not just happening, especially for background programs. I'm thinking of switching over from the Rex weather over to the live weather based upon what is shown if I switch over to the live weather. I'm not using live weather again for Rex. You would be required to go to clear skies, but if I switch over and then it looks better, then I'm keeping it. But if it's still clear as day here, then it's fine. The only difference is I'm getting a tailwind, so I'm going to leave it. Because the tailwind has always been the best thing for us, so we'll leave the tailwind. Again, it's pretty clear out here. There should be no significant weather out around these parts, so our nav aids are set to VOR, constraints are on. We can go ahead and switch over to the airport so that we can see our airports nearby. We're going to switch to airport here as well. It's able to see the ground. I'll keep my eyes on weather just in case. The thing is, weather gets injected pretty interestingly in here. Yep, it's the same. It is the same. So let's keep it to the live. Oh wait, no, it's different. Actually, we do have some clouds being injected. Oh well, Rex is... interesting. Alright, we'll keep the live weather while we keep going. And I'm just going to mute myself here while we keep flying. Alrighty guys. So we're back, and we are about to do our arrival preparation. Again, we're running an RNAV arrival for runway 12. So we're gonna go ahead and pull up our, oh no, that's for our alternate. For our arrival. So arrival, we're RNAV, arrival for runway 12. We're gonna go to approach, RNAV Yankee. There we go. So we do have a full arrival into Fort de France today. So it's going to be the Gora 2 Alpha arrival, Gora transition. So we're going to go ahead and let's look for RNAV 12 Yankee. I have a Navigraph as well, so I'm going to pull up my Navigraph on a separate page for our Navigraph charts. Or I can just pull it up in here. We're going to import our flight, Miami to Fort de France to Rayzet, sorry. Alright, so we're selecting our approach, which is an RNAV Yankee, runway 12 at Desto. Oh, no, it's AFSET. I'm so sorry. So we're adding that to route. I thought it was showing up differently here. So here we go. So from Goret, we head to AFSET, and then we're making that circle into RNAV runway 12. So let's go ahead and minimize that. I'm sorry, I'm clicking so many different things. All right, the Goret 2 Alpha arrival, and we're going to do an approach via. So we're going to click approach via, and it's up via AFSET. We return, we insert, and then we just wait for everything to populate. There we go. Let's take a look at our arrival. We go to plan mode. There's our top of descent, and we move. Goret direct to decelerate in AFSET. Tango Romeo 12 Yankee, Foxtrot Romeo 12 Yankee, and then we're at our arrival. All right, let's check our performance. And we're 200 miles from our top of descent. Let's select progress. Our optimal is flight level 370, and we're at 370, so we're all set with that. Let's check our fuel. We are 3,500 kilos when we arrive. Let's do arrival RNAV, runway 12. Let's take a look via AFSET. Let's go to the approach and check our minimums. Alright, so we're going to select category C, or category Charlie. That's 285 feet. So we're going to go into our performance, go to our next phase, all the way to our approach phase right here, and we're going to go ahead and put 290. So we set our barrel right there, and we're going to check our wind information, our arrival information. So in order for us to do that, we go into the Phoenix app right here and take a look at our arrival. Alright, so 110 at 14 gusting to 24. So we're gonna add straight to 24, 110 at 24. Alright, and then our temperature is gonna be 31 and our QNH is 1014. There's a pause right there, sorry. So we're gonna put temperature at 31 degrees and 1014 for our QNH. And that is all programmed into our FM, our McDo here, MCDU. And we are cruising. So that's what I was saying about all the weather out here. So pretty interesting. I love how Flight Simulator has depicted this weather. We have got a nice little tailwind heading down to Rayzet. So we're all set. We're heading out. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself while we continue our flight. Pretty interesting. Alrighty, guys. So we are still where we need to be here. Should be over. We should be passing over. We've gone over San Juan already. Should be all set. We're all clear here. Alright, let's get our we're 484 miles. We're all set. We're all good. Still got like about 80 miles to go. Yep, about 80 nautical miles to go. We're all set here. So the weather does look interesting around these parts. We should not have any adverse issues getting down. We've got 24 knot winds. Let's see what it looks like. It looks like a headwind actually. It's more of a headwind than a tailwind, so, or a crosswind, so we should be okay. Alright, so we're having like an 11 knot headwind. That's what we are expecting. Alright, let's do TFFR METAR. Let's check the METARs out there, Guadalupe. Check that, so it's clear with rain. Okay, so there's no gusts, so we can remove that, so it's 120 at 11 knots. Let's go ahead and make that adjustment here. Alright, there we go. We're all set. And I think this is the, oh, reset. Right, so we do have reset approach online, which is gonna be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Alright, so we checked our METAR, and we are gonna set our altitude for descent. So we're going down to 3,600. 3,600 is set. And that's set because that's the initial approach for our arrival. Let's just check our fuel based upon what we have here in our pilot briefing. Gonna go to routes and impacts. No. Yeah, times and weights. That was is our flight log. Alright. So we are expected to land with 3 kilograms of fuel, well 3,000, sorry, kilos of fuel on board. But we should have, just a little over. Yeah, we're expecting here for on our flight plan it's showing us 3.5. So you know, we still got a decent amount for landing. So we'll be within our landing fuel. All set. We're on a nice tailwind, so that is great. Alright, let's just go ahead and complete our descent briefing right now. So we're going to pull up our charts again. Let's pull up reset. Alright, so we do have an RNAV arrival via AVSET. And from Goret, we're direct to AVSET, and then we're making our way into there. Our descent or minimum descent altitude is going to be 3,600 to avoid, because of the terrain around. Max our terrain altitude is going to be at least 6,500 feet, but we're going to keep you know, well away from this. But on our approach, we're going to be over, we need to be above 3,600. And now our approach again is going to be the RNP Yankee runway 12 arrival. So from AVSET, it's a mandatory 3,600. Going to be at it's going to be a 181 degree heading or course direct to India Romeo 12 Yankee. That's 12 Yankee arrival. We're going to make a left-hand turn 131 degrees till we hit Fox Romeo 12, and then we're heading 116 into the approach. We will be engaging our approach mode once we hit our approach waypoint here, which is at 1,800 feet, at a max of 185 knots for that turn. Our minimums today is going to be 290 feet. It says 285 here, but we're going to go ahead and go up to the next altitude. Our final approach fix is going to be Fox Romeo 12 Yankee. That's where we're going to go ahead and make our descent. It's a 3.2 degree glide slope, or glide path down to the runway. Our missed approach altitude again is going to be at 290 feet. So if in the event that while we're on our arrival we do not see the runway by 290 feet, we'll be going around. Our go around is going to be as listed here in our missed approach chart, or missed approach leg right here. We're climbing straight ahead to Fox Romeo 510, then left turn direct to Fox Romeo 512, then Cadesto climbing up to 3,600, which we are going to engage again back into AVSET, and then, you know, continue again for the arrival. Seeing that we do have approach online, which is raised at approach 121.3, we will be conducting, or we will be speaking with approach all the way down. Once we get below a certain altitude, they should be contacting us to let us know. So we will be keeping contact with approach, and then we will only, you know, go based upon their vectors. Now our charts that we're going to be using for today is going to be 12-2, effective June 12th, and it was revised on the 6th of June 2025. Alright, so there we are. We do have PAPIs available for this landing, so we're all set. This airport does have an ILS, but you know, we're going to be using the RNAV because I like to hand fly the aircraft down. Alrighty, so there's our approach briefing is gonna be completed here. So we're gonna go ahead and set our TCAS to below. And our landing performance has already been reviewed. We should be our approach speed is 136. We should be landing at 131 knots. It will go down lower because again we will for the arrival there may be some float and I like to land smooth, but that's what we're going to be expecting to see on our landing speeds here. Our approach briefing is complete. Our anti-ice is not required, and here's our descent point coming up. So we're going to go ahead and engage that descent point as soon as our nose touches. There we go. Our descent has been engaged. The aircraft is going to start slowly going down, and we're going down now. Alright. So the next thing we're waiting for is below 10,000 feet, where we will get our seatbelt signs to on, our landing lights to on, but we will set our seatbelt signs on a lot sooner than that. This aircraft, it is slippery. Again, it does have the winglets, or I should say the sharklets. Most say winglets, like in Boeings they say winglets, but we do have sharklets. The sharklets do allow this aircraft to balloon a little bit more. Its speed is harder to control, especially when you are on approach. Makes it a lot more squirrely in terms of, or it's a lot more difficult to get its speed down. Alright, we're off Modoc, so this is going to be St. Kitts right here. So we're right off of St. Kitts. We're just making sure that everything is where we need to be. We're going to go ahead and pre-select Rayzet approach, which we're going to have 1 to 1.3. I'm going to set that here. Oh no, we didn't change this. Alright, let's go 121.3, and that's it. We need more drag because the aircraft is actually speeding up. And it's raining here in Dominica, so it is going to be a little bit loud. We need some more drag so that we can maintain our airspeed. Again, we do have a tailwind, not much, 6 knots, but we need our airspeed to get down while we perform this approach. And again, it's raining, and so it is. That's how it goes. Alright, so our airspeed is getting back to where it needs to be, and the rain is getting louder. Very impressive. Alright, we're off Modocs, and we're headed over to Goret. Approach is still online, so Chris S. Let's see his controller info. Alright, so from flight level 240 or 245, we're going to get contact from him. Let's check the ATIS information request. Alrighty, here we go. Winds 120 at 11 knot, visibility 10 miles, few clouds 3,200, temperature 30, dew point 23. Landing and departing runway 12, ILS approach is in use. VFR aircraft say direction of flight, NOTAMs, bird activity in the vicinity. Advise you have information, Bravo. Alright, so we do have information, Bravo. We pulled up the ATIS here and we're all set. The volume on my PC here. I do not see showers and rain. I believe if I switch on Rex, I will see those showers and rain. I think I am going to turn Rex on for this because Rex weather is a lot better in the Caribbean. Yep, Rex weather is a lot better in the Caribbean. We're on standby. Okay, I'm gonna make the adjustment here again. Once I switch this off, a lot of things are gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and engage my speed brake because a lot of things are gonna happen. So switch off the weather. See, it's gonna start descending. Switch to clear skies. Close this off. Start weather synthesis, and there we go. Alright, then this is gonna change. I do have the speed brake in. We gotta take the speed brake out so that the aircraft can reduce its rate of descent. And the weather is being injected. Hopefully it injects the right thing. If not, I'm gonna go back to our regular weather. Oh, there we go. About what I'm expecting. Exactly what I'm expecting here. Alright, so weather is injected properly. Again, Rex weather is best for the Caribbean because it does depict exactly what you see, and I can attest to the fact that there are clouds all around these areas. All the way down here is going to be Dominica, and I'm all the way down here, and I can see, when I'm looking out my window, I can see clouds all the way up here. So not too far out, but it's within reasonable means. So we do have a headwind now. Alright. I don't see a contact pick for him here. So he has not yet advised me to contact him, but we're still far out. Okay, yeah, so he's gonna contact us as soon as we get into Goret. And 6501 is what he's gonna request us to switch to. So we're gonna switch to that. He has not given it us yet, but he has assigned it. In order for you to see it, if you go on the VATSIM or VATSIM radar, you should see when you pull up your or you center on yourself, what's going to happen is you're going to see where they're going to provide you with a squawk. So with your flight details, it's going to show you what squawk they're going to provide you with. There are going to be two numbers. If there's only one, that means that you don't have one, and the one that you're using is currently the one that you're using. ATC has not assigned you one. But if you see two, that means that ATC has assigned you one. The one on the right is the one that ATC has assigned you. The one on the left is the one that you're assigned to at that present time. So I know that he is going to switch me to 6501. I'm going to switch over to 6501 preemptively because that's where that's what he's going to set us for. Now our standard for today is going to be at 9,500. That's our transition altitude. So we're not going to be switching over. We're leaving the US. We're coming down to the Caribbean. That's basically what our transition altitude is, 9,500. In Dominica, it's 9,000. In Fort de France, it goes down. It's 9,000 as well. And as you go lower, it just remains at 9. I think there is only down in South America, somewhere around that area. As you go down to Trinidad or something like that, it should be about 8,000. I'm not 100% sure, but from what I've seen 8,000 down that area. So, alrighty, yo, here we go, 16. And I'm so glad that we're getting this nice little headwind here because it is going to put us on a good path. So we're crossing real nice here. Alright, so I'm not seeing any turbulence around. We're turbulence and hazard. So we're maintaining a proper airspeed, so we're all set with that. And the rains have stopped. We just had a passing cloud right there. Now he's got our contact. There's a little click, and we are set to contact him. All right, so now we're going to be talking to Ray Z approach. We're down down to 13 thou, flight level 130, and we're going to contact him, let him know that we're approaching Goret about 3 miles. And we have information. Bravo. Rated approach. Good afternoon. Air France 617. We are about 2.5 miles from Goret. Descending through flight level 122. And we have information. Bravo.
Clear going to Zulu arrival. Expect island runway 12 via return.
Roger, and we're cleared ILS Zulu runway 12 for Air France 617. Alright.
Complex 17 negative. Expect ILS runway 12 via return. And cleared going to Zulu arrival.
Sorry about that. Cleared Goret to Zulu arrival and expect ILS runway 12 via for Air France 617. Alright, so.
617 when ready. Descend to altitude 3,600 feet. 1012. Level by reading.
Level by reading and 3,600 when ready. Air France 617. Alright, let us go. We're gonna get our seatbelt signs to on. Our airspeed's breaking down right now. And he needs me on the ILS, which means that we are going to need to make some adjustments here. This offset in Zulu. This axis ridden. Alright, let's go ahead and make that adjustment here. Arrival. ILS 12 Zulu. On the Goret to Alpha. Approach via ridden. Alright, so return, insert. Alright, get our speed breakout. And landing lights to on. Select heading and track first. Okay. Now we're heading to ridden. Alright, let's pull up. Set our insert is gonna go over, and then we're gonna go direct, ridden, insert, and we're direct ridden. Alright, we're in descent. The brake is out, the brake is in. Alright, so auto brake for today, we're passing 10,000, seatbelt signs are on, landing lights are on.
607 via return, cleared ILS runway 12 approach.
Via reading clear ILS 12 approach for Air France 617. Alright, so here we go, we're continuing. EFIS, we're not set. Our landing speed is okay. Barrow has been set, our QNH. We're gonna go ahead and set our auto brake to low. Aircraft is literally has stopped our descent here because of the fact that we just made some adjustments to it and had to recalculate here, but it's okay. We just gotta operate on the fly. Doesn't look that bad. They're contacting us here. you. All right, there we go. Heading over to Ridden, ILS, and approach. Mode armed. Seeing that we're cleared for approach, we arm our approach mode. Speed brake is out. We need some, okay, localizer is captured. Weather does not look too bad, actually. It is saying there's rain and so on, but it does not look bad. Look at that. That's like nothingness, really. I had to confirm that was for Air France 617. Kind of got broken up there. And we're connected to the voice server. With the line runway 12 Air France 617. Alright, so here we come down now. We're gonna go ahead and prepare for, we're clear to land. Alright, so before landing, our cabin crew has advised us our EFIS is as required. We're on approach, our ND terrain is on, our landing gear is waiting for us to get into our approach mode here. So our flaps 1. Gonna arm our speed brake here. Speed brake is armed. Alright, so here we go. Flaps 2, gear down. Alright. Turn offs. Landing lights to, or nose lights to take off. Spoilers are on, auto brakes is 1. FCU AP2 is engaged. Engine mode selector is as required. Exterior lights, nose wheel, set to take off. Runway turn off lights are set. Go around altitude is set 3,600. And here we go. Let's go ahead and dump our flaps to full. Alright, let's go with the Airbus landing checklist right now. Okay, cam memo landing no blue checklist is complete. For some reason I'm not getting any proper weather here. So we're kind of floating. Who's giving me weather? I'm not even sure. Alright, we'll leave it as is. Let's stop the weather for Rex, and we're just keeping it as is. We can see everything going on there. It's already messed up. I'm not going to adjust anything here because this is going to adjust my altitude. Alright, everything looks good on my end, and we're all set. The reason why he did not tell me to switch my transponder is because I did set it automatically myself. Or I did set it myself manual. Alright, our outside air temperature is a bit up there. So let's go ahead, Phoenix, swap over, arrival, 3-1. Okay, so we'll keep flaps 1 until we get to our gate. bit bumpy here, and we have wind, so we got a little bit of wind going on here. All right, we're ready for us to disconnect in a second. As you notice, the aircraft is making adjustments to its flight path. So while I'm flying in, these are things that I'm thinking about also, or watching what the aircraft is doing, so I am aware as to how things are going or how things are panning out. So the aircraft is, if you notice, the nose is moving to the right and then back. It's making slight adjustments. 2,000 feet, check. Landing ECAM memo, landing no blue. Checklist is complete. We're complete with our checklist here right now. Now, as I mentioned previously, seatbelt signs are on. It's not indicated here, but okay. As mentioned previously, we're a little bit below what we're expected to, or 3,005 that the aircraft did calculate, but it's because of the headwind. You notice the nose of the aircraft, it is adjusting and making slight adjustments. We got to keep an eye on that so we know exactly when we take control of the aircraft what it's going to be doing or how it's going to feel as we make that approach. So all the way down to landing, we should expect that. Now the weather here is not realistic. Again, I changed it. I switched it over to Microsoft thinking it would have been better. It's not, but that's all on me. After landing, I am gonna turn it off and then adjust it, and you guys will see what it's really like with Rex. So this is basically me flying with the Microsoft weather at this time. And this is not the weather that RayZ has on a day-to-day basis. Coming up on 1,000. Alright, so I'm just fixing my chair, fixing everything, making sure that I'm where I need to be for landing. See, we got 17 knots and it's adjusting, it's dropping. Airspeed is dropping. 1,000 feet. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get ready for us to disconnect our autopilot.
Approaching. 1, 2.
It be off. I'm not even touching the sticks yet, and the aircraft is still continuing down. And now we're touching the sticks. So we're going to bring our nose down so that we can make this approach nice. Using some trim. Check.
400.
Running our rudder. Okay, why? Usually the Caribbean, you see this happen all the time, but I'm not really switched offline. The wind.
200.
Flight slow.
Not on a...
Flight slow.
Ooh, wow,
Flight
go around.
slow. Flight slow.
Alright, we're going around. Maybe on. Air Z, Air France 617 going around.
Line established me. Expect mileage Zulu runway 12 be at 2.
Flight publish and we'll expect ILS from a 12 for Air France 617. Alright. Going up, flaps select for go around. Alright, direct to 412, insert. There we go. Flaps to up. Alright. Saw that was one wicked wind shear right there. Alright, we're at 3,600 and we're coast. It's the second time seeing it go around here and raise that, then there you go. That was an interesting wind shear. We're coming up around here. Alright, so go around toga, one notch, incline, thrust, retracted, spoilers, disarm, and yep, there we go, checklist is complete. And now we're gonna go back around.
607 via Desto, cleared island to Zulu, runway 12.
Via Desto, cleared ILS, Zulu, runway 12 for Air France 617, thanks. Alright. And to advise Air France 617, raise at approach, we went around due to wind shear on just about 300 feet above. Winds reached up to 36 knots. Alright, so there we go.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're prepped again for our arrival. Let's go flaps 1, remain like that, and 3,600. Once we hit Desto, we're going to go ahead and engage our approach mode again. Always good to practice a go around now and then. I think now would be the great time to activate Rex Weather, because then it would have made it a lot easier. But we're going to keep it interesting and keep Microsoft Weather right there. At 30 knots, that's an interesting thing. Oh no, I forgot to reset our chrono. Okay. Go back to our checklist, our previous checklist. Alright, so let's pull up the Airbus one, because we only have descent and before landing checklist on the one that I have. So we have the normal checklist for Airbus, which was dated February 2022 for the A320. Not for the Phoenix A320, but we have the A320 one from Airbus. Approach barrel reference is set both. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are set. Auto brake is set low. Engine mode selector is normal, and that approach checklist is complete. Approach at Desto. Alright, for pretty good weather, it looks pretty okay, and I'm still not getting any winds, the winds that we're expected to see. Now, the thing that made me go around even faster is when I looked down, I saw the winds, and then all of a sudden I saw that I was full deflection, my rudder was full deflected to the left to get my nose pointed left, and I was like, wait a second, something's wrong. And all of a sudden I look down, I'm seeing the weather, I'm seeing the wind speed is like about 34 knots and dropping. So I just assumed it was above 34 knots, so because it was dropping when I saw it. So about 36 knots should be within what I saw. So Airbus is down, and we're on the Phoenix Airbus A320 checklist. My flight sim add-ons. Alright, so we're at Desto. Engage ILS again. Once we cross Desto, we are cleared to engage approach mode. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and activate our approach mode. Approach is armed. Alright, now that it is armed, we're going to go into our pilot briefing here and take a look. .1063, alternate Fort de France, just all the way down, 7,000, contingency, 635. Just checking our fuel here to see exactly what we're looking like. 2,200 for our final reserve plus alternate. So we're looking at, wait a minute. Alright, let's do initialize. Alright. Pop that in. Reach out. Oop, flaps up. As I thought, immediately pushed itself all the way up. Alright, 2.7, we are... We're expecting 2.2.
Climb flight level 170, 572. 572 and level 170. Virgin Airlines 281 identified. Why may reason for deviating of course?
Alright, I think we should get Rex going.
When able, proceed direct that restaurant, that's our command.
Alright, let's go. Let's change the weather. Let's see if we get something totally different here. Switch off live weather. Let's go to clear skies. Our airspeed light shot up, but that's fine. It'll happen again. I was not meant to do all of those, but our airspeed is going to drop down immediately. Alright, let's see. Injecting weather. It's complete haze layer, and it's almost the same. See, our airspeed did drop. Yeah. I know. We need to go around. We need to go back. I think our minimum is definitely going to be 2.2, but we're pretty low on our fuel here. Localizer is low star. The aircraft is going to make a pretty tight turn to get there. And our
aircraft are supposed to be closing in about 10 minutes.
Raise that approaches will be closing in about 10 minutes. Interesting. Do we have a decel? We don't have a decel actually. Alright, there we go. We activated our approach phase, which we should have done all the way at Desto. However, we failed to do so. We're just gonna. That's where we had too much speed carrying around this circle, so the autopilot could not capture that localizer properly. Alright, line of lights are on. Seatbelt signs.
You said you request flight level 150 or you're crossing flight level 150? Caribbean Airlines stage 1, climb to flight level 150.
Alright, Caribbean Airlines is actually flying above us. He's somewhere up around here. He's going up to 150. Alright, flaps 1. Alright, localizer captured. Oh, we are, turning it on to the localizer, I should say. But it is captured right now. Alright, look captured.
Alpha 617, surface wind going 20 degrees, 12 knots. Change 1012, runway 12, clear to land.
Put to land runway 12 for Air France 617. No, something's wrong. Like, it says 2988, but
2,500.
Microsoft is giving me something. Well, it's nah. Yeah, let's just do that. Close that off. Stop that. Close that off. Flaps 2, gear down. And then taxi lights to take off. 1012, 2988, that's what it said. So then that means that we would have to reset our sim. So Rex is kind of giving me bad weather. Alright, so here we go. Alright, before landing checklist, cabin crew is advised if it's as required. FCU set approach, ND in terrain as required, landing gear down, flaps down, spoilers are going to be armed right now. AP2 is engaged. Engine mode selector, normal, exterior light, nose wheel lights are on, runway turn-offs are on. Floor altitude is set 3,600. Landing checklist is, or before landing checklist is complete.
2,500.
Hopefully we don't get to go around again. Because we do not have enough fuel to make our alternate at this time. Well, we do have enough fuel to make it, but then we will be landing with way below minimum fuel. As we see here. We'll be landing with way below minimum fuel. If I were to go around right now, I would not divert to Fort de France. I would divert to Dominica any day. Or I could divert to Antigua right there. But because I would love to fly an Airbus A320 into Dominica, I would probably go to Dominica. Alright. We're on the set. Cabin crew is advised, waiting for landing. Or waiting for the ECAM memo. We've been recording for 4 hours. We've been in flight for 3 hours, 15 minutes. We have 19 knots. So we're gonna try to keep to the left a little bit more, because again, that wind is gonna push us to the right heavily. And if you notice, we're starting to porpoise a little bit. That means that the aircraft is dipping and you know, it's riding, going down and up and down and up, because the wind speed is kind of increasing, dropping out, and we are experiencing some, as you see, the wind direction is changing. And it goes up to 19 knots. So when the wind drops out, the bottom drops out. When the wind comes back in, the bottom starts to porpoise. Where the bottom goes up and our nose dips. So right now the wind speed is dropping, and it's gonna drop all the way down to 11 knots and then maybe go up again. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out for that. I need to select a button for my flight directors to turn it off. I think I need to do that. I will do that on my joystick. I think he disconnected. His radar contact is lost. I think he's still there. Alright, we're at 1,000.
1,000.
Check. 1,000 feet. Let's go ahead. Autopilot AP off. Flight director off. ILS is off. And we're gonna fly this in. So we're gonna keep a little bit to the left there. And not worry about the glide slope indication.
Approaching 1, 2.
See, our airspeed did drop down to 12 knots, which is slower than what we're gonna expect, and now you see it's starting to increase, and we just gotta keep an eye out for that 30 knots. Gonna keep some wind correction in there.
500.
There it is, the wind is changing. Get our nose down and it's bottoming out.
400. 300.
15, 16 knots. 17,
200.
19,
Flight
20,
slow.
25,
Flight
26.
slow. Flight slow.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
Oh,
Pitch. Pitch.
and we kind of get down a little bit hard there. I did not see our altitude, but we're okay. And
1,500 meters. remaining.
First, oh shoot, I'm not on the right profile for my joystick, for my throttle controls. So I'm not getting any reverse. He kind of touched down a little bit hard there. Alright, flaps going up, and let's go ahead and engage our APU. We're exiting all the way down at the end of the runway right there. And he's still on. Yeah, Caribbean has disconnected. Flap select 1 plus flaps. Temperature is 30 degrees. Slow down below 15. I will make this turn off here. Yeah, so we did touch on a little bit hard. I didn't like it, but it's better on the ground than, oh, APU bleed is on. We did not need that. Strobes to auto. Spoilers are disarmed. And we're getting over the line. Here we go, we're over the line. Check. Alright, everything else.
Arkansas 7, welcome to Guadeloupe. Continue forward to Romeo to correction. Echo Romeo to kind of your pitch.
Continue Echo Romeo to stand by choice for reference 617, thanks. Alright, so we're keeping on rolling. Oh, hit the wrong button. After landing, brake fans as required. Let's check our brakes. Our brakes are still cool. Spoilers are disarmed and retracted. Flaps are retracted up to flaps 1. Auto brake is off. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS going over to standby. Chrono is off. Weather radar is going off right now. Predicted wind shear is off. ND and terrain. We got that off. Flight directors are off, localizer is off. Strobe lights are off, runway turn off is as required, landing lights are off. Taxi, the APU master is on, APU start is on. Wing anti-ice is off, engine anti-ice is as required. And our taxi is to come. Was a pretty hard landing, no reverse. Alright, let's go ahead and APU bleed is on.
770, clear to the Paris airport. The Baltic 1 Foxtrot departure, flight sound route. Runway 12, initial climb 5,000 feet, Squawk 5802. Clear to serve early 1 pocket departure, flight release,
And I'm not on realistic turbulence, I'm on low, so it should not have been an issue. Our winds just kicked up too much.
But take the Squawk 150. 150, Squawk aircraft 770.
Let's switch on our brake fans, mainly because our brake temperatures are going up, and I'm 100% sure we're going to have a runaway brake temperature issue. While we slowly creep. I mean, we can continue our flight, go all the way down to Fort de France. Or we could do straight to Juliana, but I'm not sure yet. It's up between Fort de France and Juliana. We're not going back to Miami, that's for sure. Alright, so we're gonna park in here. I don't have rich people gear like our flight track or our head tracking or anything like that. So we gotta turn around like a peasant. Alright, let's go ahead, switch this off. I still had it to take off, wow. Slowly get in. And we're at gate 8. Brakes on. Alright, brake is on. Parking brake is set. Heavy bleed is on. And now we're gonna go ahead and engine shut down. Heavy bleed engine master is off. The go fuel pumps are going off. Our beacon lights are going off. Seatbelt signs to off. Thank you. Transponder mode is to off. Anti-ice is off. Exterior lights as required. External power is going on in a sec because it takes a lot longer for them to actually do that. What is this? Bro. External power is on, bleeds off, and there we go. Alright, we're keeping everything set. And welcome to Fort de France, guys. After a pretty rough landing, I will say it's a pretty rough landing because I don't typically make landings as hard as that. I was not even aware of how low we were until we I was kind of in it a little bit. I was in a little bit of flare, but then the wind kind of kicked me out. So I don't typically do that, but it happened. We landed pretty hard. Company message. Let's go to the menu, to the ATSU, AOC, receive, arrival, check, time, and we're all set. Alright, check with the board in. Mass and balance, and we landed with way less fuel dynamics I wanted to. Let's check our wheel. Yep, there goes our temperature, and then we can go ahead and switch off our brake fans. Right. We're not securing the aircraft, we're just in parking while I think about what I'm going to do next. Well, our next flight is going to be headed to... There we are. Ground services. Let us toggle the jetway. Because for some reason... Yeah, that's exactly what I know. Here, GSX does not recognize a jetway here. I need to get the GSX profile for reset. So, I'll have that set, and we're all set with this. Everything is set here, and we're gonna disarm our emergency lights. Leave that as is, and we're all set while our passengers depart. We're gonna leave our flaps out for better cooling because it's selected here, flaps 1, because we're above 30 degrees. There's another flight. This is someone online actually. Radio, while we get deported, I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff done and plan our next flight. Stand by, guys.